We're live from the capital. This is BTV News at 9 o'clock. I am Khomotso Mapani. Interpreting in sign language is Buinelo Ntole. The headlines. The ruling BOTSWANA Democratic Party committed to bringing development to the Okavango district. Use of technology proving to be effective in fighting corruption. And in sports, local players off to a good start in the Phoenix Assurance BOTSWANA Open Championship. The President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, says the BOTSWANA Democratic Party, BDP, is committed to bringing developments to the Okavango district. Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, who was addressing members of the BDP, said among the upcoming development is the construction of the road from Shakawe to Hodigwa in Okavango East. Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi said his party is correcting the mistakes of the past that resulted in losing the constituency. Love more, Mario.
Okavango constituency is one of those which was dominated by the opposition in the previous elections. The BDP leadership is now working around the clock to make sure they win this constituency in the upcoming elections. Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi said they have assessed their poor performance from the previous elections and now it's time to correct those mistakes by addressing the region's developments and provision of government initiatives. He said his party will continue to provide needs for the residents in this area like water and electricity. Among the upcoming developments is the construction of the Mohembo-Godigwa Road.
Riboni madi hakiraboni hakane rasulaidijo madi ara saine tiana ibile mo sebakeng sa hitsempelo dikatakata tse di thuntshitse lerole go tswa go Mohembo gwa Maung go tswa Maung gwa Nata e tla be le mo kwetse o montsho mokwepa wa tsela ke rona ya la party e le gore solaetsa gore ha le re tlhopha ya ka ke solohela gore la gore tlhopha go tswa go Godigwa go tsena go nna Masere go tsena go Shekerawi le go Sempopa mongwe le mongwe wa batlang go kelwa motlakase wa single phase mo ntlong ya gagwe wa go kelwa mahala ke re mahala kgosi mahala a sa ntshe madi. The
party chairman, Mr. Slamba Tsohwane, welcomed the new members, among them former vice chair for BCP Chobe branch, Mr. Mumpati Waheng. Mr. Tsohwane said BDP is the only party which cares about the lives of residents in Okavango.
Re tlo boa re boelela hano re ya le go dikgaolong tse dingwe tsotlhe tsa BOTSWANA re lemosa batswana gore a re tšhentšheng ka gore nako di a re sia
ha ke gola hano ne re na le klinikinyana e ne re testa Belhazi ya re le bašwa ya ka re tshamekela gone lo re hile spatela a ja ke donkra wa re la spatala se mtautuna wa sibitsa ka politiki la khanetso a nation builder in you hanja ke donkra.
Dr. Masisi called on the Democrats in Okavango to unite and work towards securing victory for their party in the upcoming elections. Love Mo Mario, BTV News, Shakawe.
BOTSWANA Democratic Party chairman, who's also the vice president, Mr. Slamba Tsohwane, says government has found sustainable ways to overcome foot and mouth and borne-tick diseases that have been a cause for concern in the Okavango region. He said this when welcoming 204 new members into the BDP in Sepopa yesterday. Tiny Tugudu.
Farming is the main economic activity for most people in the Okavango, with most opting for cattle rearing. However, foot and mouth outbreaks has been a major challenge, but the country continues to make strides in addressing the issue, with the local manufacture of the FMD vaccine being one of such. Mr. Tsogane says government is in talks with China to secure a market for local beef producers.
Mila bona gore gompieno yana re tshwaetse jaaka batho ba sa tswa go bua gore lehello le nne lehelo le batho ba ka ruela mo go lona mme dikgomo tsa bone le tsone di kgone gore di hithelele ko mebarakeng mme ka mathata a foot and mouth re tla le batela mebaraka e mengwe jaaka re tsweletse re le batela mebaraka e mengwe e ka rekang dikgomo tsa lona botoka ha ke bua le lona yana ne re na le ba party ya ko China maloba ne re na le ba ministry wa rona wa agriculture o buisana le ba China go bona gore ka bontsi jwa bone jo bokana-kana ga ba ka ke ba reka nama ra ba thusa ka nama ka gore rona re ruile bontsi jwa dikgomo bone ba ruile bontsi jwa ba ba jang kgomo jwa batho so re mo dithulaganyong jaana tswa go bona gore a ke ra go rekisa nama ya rona ko China
simolotse ka keteledipele ya gago motlotlegi tautona ya gore re baakanye ditsela tse di mo Northwest ya bogologolo ka gore gompieno ke dikgaolo di le mmalwa. Re dira jalo ka gore go a bonala go gongwe go na ga tšhemoga ditsela tsa ka kwano tsa senyaga thata.
The youth from this party were encouraged to take advantage of available government programs aimed at uplifting livelihoods.
Lenaneo le lengwe le leng gore le tsentswe le ka re thusa ke le leng gore le mo temo letlotlo ke la cluster fencing le leng gore le ka re thusa gore re kgone go fensa ka electric fence mme re ipokwantse re le teng gomo go dirilwe ke puso ya rona ya domkrag a ijeke domkrag.
Members of this ruling party were encouraged to work diligently for the party in preparation for the upcoming general elections. Tiny Tukudu, BTV News, Sepopa.
Mr. Mwalusi Afa from Botswana Congress Party BCP emerged victorious in the Lepoko Leborotsi ward by-election after securing 860 votes. Mamusi Siska with more.
After 6 months without a councillor in the Lepoko Leborotsi ward, Mr. Mwalusi Afa now assumes the role, triumphing over the BDP and UDC candidates.
We are expecting a lot of backlog, but I'll try my all best. I'll try my level best for deliver as per.
The BDP candidate secured the second position with 354 votes, while the UDC candidate received the support of 126 voters.
This has been always a stronghold for BCP. Even before the split, even after the split, we knew this has been their stronghold. So we tried our best. I can tell you, we worked hard. 2024.
The returning officer confirmed that all proceedings transpired smoothly.
Voting card o na go supa number a te supa o rejectilwe mo voters roll a sa tike e sia mona a tsene ga bedi engwe rejectile me a bata card e rejectile mo go ra re go mo thusa le na ba kgona go bua le go lapeng but all in all to botsa mari tsamele sente tirisano mo go ne le a maemo a ntha.
A total of 1,358 people cast their votes compared to 2,023 voters in the 2019 general elections.
The Minister for State President, Mr. Kabo Murwaing, says the use of technology is proving to be effective in curbing corruption as it reduces human interaction and temptations that may arise from face-to-face engagements. He said this at the International Anti-Corruption Day in Kanye. Emmanuel Rapoa.
Corruption continues to be a challenge to many countries, hampering their economical and developmental progress. However, in comparison to other countries, Botswana is still doing fairly well, as it is cited as one of the continent's least corrupt nations. It is against this background that the government does not want to see the status quo change, as the after effects of corruption are unbearable.
Corruption undermines the rule of law, respect for human rights, accountability and transparency, and weakens governance institutions. This in turn erodes public legitimacy in government and compromises good governance. The result could be civil wars, state capture, and lawlessness. We should consider ourselves a blessed nation, as we have not encountered such mishaps.
Corruption undermines effective service delivery and diverts money meant for socio-economic development of the country. The DCEC is doing all it can to fight corruption, but it could even do better if we all join them.
The move towards e-governance and digitization is a significant step in combating corruption. By digitizing government services, we can substantially reduce the direct interactions between citizens and officials, which are often the breeding grounds for corrupt practices.
Concerted efforts for one common goal has been identified as one of the effective intervention measures to win the war against corruption.
We all need to work together on harnessing the contribution of all citizens to shun corrupt practices. We can do this through many ways, but ultimately individuals and institutions need to work together to do that.
We continue to look into these processes. How do we end up having unscrupulous people taking advantages of our processes and procedures to siphon money from government funds?
Millions of dollars are still being lost through transnational crimes, and we have to bolster our efforts of combating corruption at our borders and ensure that all transactions pass through the formal channels.
Sharing valuable information about the devastating experiences brought about by corruption gives all stakeholders the mandate to play an active role of reporting acts of corruption which can compromise the nation's well-being. Emmanuel Rapua, BTV News, Kanye.
A member of the Botswana Council of Churches, Ms. Monica Mpusu, says that churches are the watchdogs of society and have a duty to speak out against social ills such as gender-based violence. Ms. Mpusu shared this view at a walk against gender-based violence organized by the Botswana Council of Churches on Saturday, a day before the end of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Tsolofelo Tombale.
As the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence came to a close over the weekend, the Botswana Council of Churches called together various churches for the Tamar Walk against gender-based violence, with the aim of fulfilling its role as the moral compass of society by decrying such violence.
wa ba sena molomo e ne tsebe ya ba sa ikutlweleng maikelelo a mogwanto wa gompeno e ne le gore ke nngwe ya ditiragatso tse ntse re di dira mo malatsing a 16 a lesome le borataro a go kgala re sa kgwemathe kgokgontsho.
We have the leadership of Botswana Council of Churches. We have the leadership from different member churches of BCC and EFB and OIC and other religions really. This is a battle that cannot be fought by one identity or one institution. It calls for all of us to say no to it and to refuse and to reject it.
The motivation behind naming the event the Tamar Walk was explained.
Story sa Tamara ke gore Tamara o ne khaitsadi kana ga ta fit khaitsadi o na mo dirisa ska mo dirisa sentle. Me Tamara ke no ngare no my brother, you cannot do this. We don't, this is not allowed in Jerusalem. Lorna re me ka dinaurare nyaya borra nyaya batsala le rona ga re ka ke ra dirase ga se letlelelo mo Botswana.
The American ambassador to Botswana, Mr. Howard Rankin, has called for the public to support efforts to fight gender-based violence.
We have the same problem. We know how difficult it is. And we know that the first step in addressing it is talking about it, to say that no means no, exactly what you're doing. And so what I want to say is just thank you, because all of the things that we do, all the money that we spend, all of the talk we do is nothing compared to what you do in your communities, in your churches, in your villages, in your households. That's where it has to stop.
Gender-based violence has become a national concern, with stakeholders channeling efforts and resources towards raising awareness, with the hope of bringing the statistics down. Solofelo Tombale, BTV News, Gaborone.
Botswana Railways has signed contracts with Beitbridge Bulawayo Railway from Zimbabwe and African Railway Company from Mozambique. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Botswana Railways Acting Chief Executive Officer Ms. Chilesile Manele said the one-year Beitbridge contract is to haul minerals such as lithium and chrome from Zimbabwe to ports of Mozambique, while the African Railway 5-year contract is for the transportation of fuel from Mozambique to Botswana. Abigail Madorobo.
Botswana Railways have been facing financial constraints, which ultimately contributes to the capability and capacity of the organization to maintain its rolling stock. Ms. Malele noted that the opportunity cost of lost tonnage also impact on BR's ability to service and retain customers. She said from November last year, BR resolved to partner with private entities to tap into their expertise and collaborate to deliver long-term benefits to the parties.
ARC is one of our key customers. Through their service, Botswana is able to source petrol from Mozambique via the Limpopo corridor, which improves the security of supply in our country. ARC is partnering with Botswana Railways to finance the overhaul of 34 BPT tankers at a tune of 10 million. This 5-year partnership is expected to generate over 20 million in revenue for BR. Today, we are releasing the tankers to undergo maintenance in Zimbabwe.
Botswana Railways also celebrated the significant milestone of the graduates who managed to finish their courses through passion and determination.
The years of hard work, perseverance, and determination lies before us in the form of academic accomplishments and on-the-job excellence. These achievements are not merely personal triumphs, but rather they represent a cornerstone of Botswana Railway's success. They showcase our employee commitment to continuous learning and professional development, which is fundamental to individual growth and organizational effectiveness.
To the graduates, your qualification is just not a piece of paper. It is proof to yourself and to your doubters and to the world that you possess the skills and commitment needed for success in your careers.
Botswana Railways was commended for their dedication of boosting the economy of Francistown. Abigail Madorobo, BTV News, Francistown.
World AIDS Day commemoration should be a time for communities to examine their impact in the fight against HIV and AIDS. This was emphasized by Bonepoa Program Manager Mr. Hasekale Mwalusi as he attended World AIDS Day commemoration in Hatzalatladi recently. Lizzie Klaas.
HIV and AIDS continues to be a global concern. Despite Botswana making strides in the fight against the pandemic, the country is still registering new cases. This therefore means stakeholders still need to intensify the spread of messages promoting behavioral changes, as that will go a long way in addressing emerging challenges regarding HIV and AIDS.
Go tla go tlisa tsibuso mo setšhabeng ka ditirelo tse di tsweletseng lefatshe ka bophara mabapi le go emisa bolwetse jwa AIDS e le letshwenyego la botsogo jwa setšhaba. Gore mogare o santse o le teng, go na le batho ba eteng ba re mogare ga oo ka go bona ba nwa diritibatsi ano di siame di ba siametse di tisitse botsogo jo bontle mo go bone ba re a mogare ga o sa tlhola o le teng. Mme seo re a se bona ka gore ka ngwaga re nna le batho ba ba tsonang ke mogare ba heta 2,000 ngwaga le ngwaga. Se se supa hela senta gore mogare o santse o le teng, o santse o tla re tsena ga re sa itlhokomele, o santse o tla re tsa matshelo a rona ga re sa itlhokomele.
Puso e ne ya re tsamaela ya re tabogela ha bolwetse jo o santse bo gaketse ha moragonyana gale ya go re kopela diritibatsi tse di neng tsa re ha tsholohela re le batho bontsi ba setse ba inetsa gore go fedile ka bone.
The commemoration is centered around calling for communities to be in the lead in the fight against HIV and AIDS by taking responsibility and supporting those affected by HIV and AIDS.
Wena o mo dinaleng o setse phetha sa gago ke batho go bolela gore mogare wa go wa bela o bela go bela mo e leng gore ga o tswa go ithedisa go motho yo o ithedisa go o be se le gore HIV positive ka ga o itse mogare wa ga go tsena motho go ke kopa gore re tšhentšhe maitsholo a rona towards HIV and tlhakanelo dikobo.
Go raya gore banana ba reetse thata molaetsa o ka gore ya rona HIV ba ba tswang go morago bone ba ithotoetse gore tse di buiwang hanoga ba di tshwara ka thata ba iketetse gore ba tshabe bogale jo botang.
Different stakeholders reiterated the importance of adherence for those on antiretroviral therapy, as failure to follow the set guidelines is a drawback. Lizzie Glass, BTV News, Hatzalatladi.
Gaborone City Council has signed a contract with property consultants which will enable them to undertake a general valuation of properties in the city. Speaking at the ceremony recently, the town clerk, Mr. Lopang Bule, urged the consultants to stick to the agreed timelines and ensure their valuations accurately reflect market conditions. Terry Makoeng.
Due to unforeseen circumstances, the last valuation roll that took place in Gaborone was in 2008 through the then Ministry of Lands. Hence, it has been 15 years, though the process should normally take place every 5 years. Now, with the assignment bestowed upon the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, the City Council has engaged 3 companies which will conduct this task within the stipulated time of 6 months. This valuation of properties is for evaluation role intended for levying of property tax.
This exercise has a huge significance because now the more we value property and they become part of our valuation role, it's a revenue stream to us. Let's stick to the timelines. The major developments, so these are the issues you'll encounter them on site, and these are the properties
Representatives from the 300% citizen-owned companies, being More Property, Real Assets and Real Rich, vowed to perform the task to the best of their ability and within the stipulated time.
I think this project was of paramount importance, and it will serve as an education platform for the community to realize the importance of this exercise and how it will impact the economy and how we can raise our living index as well.
The sources of income
an urban authority like you ke gone gore go nna le di grant go nna le service charges then go nna le rating as yone e leng gore tota is your main instrument sa go tshwara kana sa go tshegetsa budget ya town an urban area.
Le rona really devaluer or even in the profession we've been concerned about this. But I mean, rekana motoropong ya rona for 15 years go sna di rates tse di gore di a improve mme ba le bela mahatsanong do tse di dirwa di thabolla di thusa mo ka di thabolla.
From next week, the City Council will embark on information dissemination to raise awareness on the public about this exercise, which will need house owners, among other property owners, to allow the contractors access to their houses for the effective conduct of this mammoth task. Terry Makhoeng, BTV News, Gaborone.
The acting Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, Ms. Baitsepi Hill, commended Tole Trust for their significant contribution to environmental protection and sustainability. Ms. Hill was speaking during an award ceremony hosted by the Trust in Gaborone.
This year's edition of the Tole Trust Award ceremony was held under the theme Rethink, Reduce, Reuse with Waste Oil Recovery, which aims at discouraging pollution, avoidance and ignorance of waste. Ms. Hill said addressing issues of pollution calls for concerted efforts from all stakeholders and has therefore called for the private sector to build their corporate strategies around sustainability, especially environmental sustainability.
As a nation, I'm adamant that we are embracing the concept of circular economy very well. Today we see recycled waste products on sale predominantly in urban cities. Tires, wood, pallets, cans, glass are now being increasingly recycled into household and industrial products, even some decorative materials that we can use after recycling or reusing that waste. This is a commendable effort and transformation towards what we all want.
The Tole Trust principal mandate is to conduct awareness campaigns on waste oil management and providing infrastructure for proper disposal of used oil. But for the Trust to achieve this, there is a need for support by partners and contributors.
Today, we honor members of the Trust who have dedicated the year of 2023, despite the economic conditions, to supporting our organization in achieving its mission. Their contributions have been instrumental in shaping our culture and driving progress.
Some awardees in the categories of Loyal Corporate Member, Most Supportive Ally to the Trust, and Most Paying Levy Contributor shed light on their contribution.
As they should take care of the environment sente le bone ba sa khopetswe ke sepe ibile re ba thusa le go heta gore ka gore le rona re mo industrying ya mahura re kgone go ba thusa gore ba itse gore ba thusa setšhaba sente le go rotloetsa le go ruta setšhaba ka go somarela mahura le gore a tshwarwa jang.
Support e tswa mo go rona in the form of finances. We help them finance in whatever they need to push their mandate in. We always put the little we can assist them with, and whatever little, because we know that what they're doing is not only for the benefit of everybody in the country to clean our environment.
Actually, the biggest seller of oil in the country now, because we are supplying the entire BOTSWANA group now through our sub-distributor, local company called AfriCent. That's how come we end up being the largest contributor of levy to the Tole Trust.
Collaborations and partnerships came highly recommended to entities such as Tole Trust in order to help the country achieve its global ambition to protect the environment and sustainably use it to benefit the next generation. Somulekai, BTV News, Gaborone.
The Assistant Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Ms. Talita Monnakgotla, says government recognizes the role played by churches in molding a united nation and promoting good governance. Ms. Monnakgotla made the remarks at the Day of Glory Church Gala Dinner in Francistown to honor the church founder Apostle Dr. Shati John Bethany Mando.
The Day's Glory Church was founded by Apostle Dr. Shati John in 2016 after facing spiritual and physical challenges in his life. His burning desire to change for the better and came closer to God made him conquer all the battles he fought, and he is now drawing many people to a place of worship.
Government value the contribution of the church in molding the nation. Thata le hong. Vision 2036 pillar number 2 echoes that faith is the foundation upon which society builds its moral and ethical standards for social development and cohesion. Unite us more.
The Assistant Minister says Botswana remains united as the leadership of the country has placed the church as the cornerstone of democracy and inclusion in governance structures. She therefore pleaded with the church to find lasting solutions to some of the social ills engulfing the society.
As we audit ourselves, we also measure our impact as a church in nation building across the various phases of life, that is deteriorating family institution, juvenile delinquency, drug and alcohol abuse, GBV, murder.
Apostle Dr. Shati John is a spiritual strong character.
When God called me, I did not know exactly what the future held for me, but I trusted in the God who called me. The Bible says that they that trust in the Lord, they are like Mount Zion, that cannot be shaken but abides forever.
Apostle Shati, your presence among us is a blessing. You are a shepherd who leads with compassion and wisdom, a teacher who illuminates our lives with the word of God.
Churches are mushrooming in large numbers in Botswana, and the Day of Glory Church remains resolute in shaping a society that fears God and respects the country's constitution. Bethany Mando, BTV News, Francistown.
The need to rehabilitate and educate men and boys is thought to be a lasting solution to ending gender-based violence. This was highlighted by the Assistant Minister of Health, Mr. Lilatisitswe Setomo, at the Walk of Hope 10th Anniversary Gala Dinner in Gaborone. Yinge Malimoyo.
Rehabilitation is said to be usually overlooked, but it has been realized that this aspect must be taken into account in dealing with gender-based violence, whose perpetrators are mainly men, as per Botswana statistics. Post-COVID-19, the need to continue to find ways to deal with this issue as numbers grew to higher heights during the pandemic and after the pandemic, which placed the country at the crossroads of a critical societal issue that requires collective commitment in finding a lasting solution.
In addressing this monster, we must also acknowledge the need to rehabilitate and educate men and boys. It is, however, of paramount importance that we balance the equation. Rather than having to empower the women to find their strength and leaving the men behind.
At the age of 8, I was a state witness for my friend against a Russian man who was always molesting my friend. And we managed to win the case, and that's how Walk of Hope was birthed.
Actually, I'm a survivor for gender-based violence. I was bound in a wheelchair for some time after I tried committing suicide and I was hospitalized. By then I was going under divorce and my medical aid was cut off. So Princess Marina really took care of me.
Rehabilitation is expected to help men in redefining masculinity, that it should not come at an expense of femininity. It is about reshaping societal expectation to create healthier dynamics between genders and allowing communication to flow from both ends between men and women.
Boys in particular must learn to value the value of consent and understand that their worth is not defined by dominance or aggression rather than compassion and understanding.
Gender-based violence has presented a lot of challenges. Men tend to bottle up issues and prefer to keep quiet while hurting, and they find themselves in untenable situations and eventually become violent as some form of releasing the tension. Therefore, the government in juncture with civil society organizations are encouraged to join hands to alleviate this issue. Inge Malimoyo, BTV News, Gaborone.
It is time for sports with Tato Khosimo Rechiti.
Good evening, Khomutso. Yeah, Manchester was playing yesterday. Yeah.
And
did you get the results?
I think we all know what should happen to the manager by now.
Oh.
He bought the players. We all know what should happen now.
Oh, he should keep on managing the team.
No! I get the measure of a good manager is the result.
Yeah.
Now, he can't blame anyone. All the players there, he bought them. Okay, most of the players there, he bought them. He should be responsible for the outcome.
Yeah, so you want
and if
him to
the
be
outcome is
shown
not the way it's supposed to be, what happens in sports?
Oh, okay, no. Let's hope it will happen the way you want. Thank you. I am Tato Khosumura. This is BOTSWANA Tonight Sports segment. Thank you for joining us and good evening. Let's jump straight into our top story. In the ongoing Phoenix Assurance BOTSWANA Open Championship held at Boto University, Tebogo Dipebe defeated Mahosi Tsipo 3-love in the under-15 boys category, while Khotso Kotsere won 3-2 against Lilian Tsiaka in the under-15 girls category. Kagiso Malela kwa reports.
The Mabela Apudi Bonditsebe started the game on a high tempo, displaying great skills as he won the first set 11-7. Coming into the second set, Maros took an 85-2 lead, but Dipebe came from behind to take the set 11-9. In the third set, Dipebe was in no mood for compromise as he cruised to capture the set by 11-5 and win the overall game by 3-love. In the girls category, Khotso Kotsere from Mabela Apudi won by 3-2 against Lilian Tsiaka of Maikano. Tsiaka won the first set 11-3, while Kotsere came back stronger in the second and third sets, winning them 11-8 and 11-6 respectively. The tables turned, however, in the fourth set as Tsiaka won 11-8 to take the game to deciding set, which was won by Kotsere by 11-8 and win the overall game by 3-2. This third edition of Phoenix Assurance BOTSWANA Open Championship will run until tomorrow with the Elites and Junior Under-12 categories among others. Kagiso Molelekwa, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
In the ongoing CAT Southern Africa Zone 5 games, Shem Tapera of Zimbabwe beat local player Batsumi Marobela by 2-love in a bracket C match played today at the National Tennis Center in Gaborone. Victoria Dakin with more.
This was Shem Tapera's second win of the tournament after downing Nakalanga Hamanyangwe of Zambia 2-love yesterday in his first game. It was, however, Batsumi Marobela's first loss as he won his first game against his fellow countryman, Best Ndebele 2-1. In the first set, Tapera had an upper hand as Marobela's poor serves made life easy for the Zimbabwean as he capitalized and won the set by 6-3. In the second and last set, Tapera came back even more aggressive and the local lad committed several errors which gave Tapera a free ride as he won the set 6-1 to win the game by 2-love.
I can't really say I expected it, but I did want to win. It's just with tennis, you never know. A tennis match can go both sides, you know. It can go either way. It just depends on who's tougher on the day. And I think today I played really tough. You know, I stayed in the matches and I was trying to be as positive as possible throughout the match. I still have a third group stage match to play, but it's just a lot of, you know, mental preparation off the court, you know.
This is a player I know very well, a player I know I can beat. It's just a thing of, you know, putting together my strengths in the match, and I think I struggled to do that today. Luckily, it's a group stage match, so maybe I'll have the chance to play him again further on in the tournament. But yeah, you know, he did the important things well today, took his chances, and I think that's what got him the win. And I just needed to, you know, focus more on my strengths and use them more efficiently.
The other games scheduled for today were cancelled due to rainfall, and the expectation is for the games to continue tomorrow, still at the National Tennis Center. Victoria Daken, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Now turning our focus to First Division South, UB Hawks registered their second win of the season after defeating BOTSWANA Fighters by 3-0 at Fighters Grounds. Tlamelo Muntsusi reports.
UB Hawks took control of the game from the start, taking a deserved lead on the 27th minute, courtesy of Bonma Sepako's header, which proved to be the only goal of the first half. In the second half, UB Hawks continued to dominate the game, and coach Alex Maleti's subs proved to be on point as they managed to increase the intensity of the game. One of the subs, Muluki Khaswane, scored Hawks' second goal in the 79th minute, just 2 minutes before Aubako Khaletabe sealed the victory with a third for the away side.
Third on the log, they're actually second from the bottom. It's like playing the two bottoms at the back, so we thought, let's give up pressure, let's give them a lot of attack and see whether they will break, and that happened. First half, as we started with a high tempo. We maintained the high tempo. We could have scored more. Coming up in the second half, they tried to put up 5-4-3 players in front to like counter what we've had, and we continue with adding up of pressure, then breaking through, getting the second and the third goal.
UB Hawks, they had an upper hand as from the first half, but second half I thought it was after 15 minutes of second half. They were a little bit tired, but unfortunately we gave them 2 silly goals.
In the other league games played yesterday, Black Forest defeated City Pola 3-1, while Tlokong United played to a 1-0 draw with the Set Ngau. In another game played at SSG Ground, Union Flamingo Santos defeated Notwane by a 1-0. Now turning focus to First Division North, Sankoyo Bushbucks outsmarted Plikwe United 2-0.
Before signing off, we saw our last story of the night. A bid of 11 and Township Rollers played to a 2-2 draw in a Botswana Premier League game played at the National Stadium this afternoon. Let's see the match highlights.
Did he go down? Penalty. Mutlumehim Konazi from Lesotho. It's a powerful penalty, and parity is restored here at the National Stadium. Nice ball put in. Oh! What a beauty! Sosogele would not be outdone. We are still under the floodlights here at the National Stadium due to the rain. It's a great ball. Murimba! Murimba! He has done exactly what he has been called up for.
But he decided the other way. That's why I was so gentle. But all in all, we played well under the hard conditions. We did well under hard conditions.
Our plan. We knew that BDF will start the game at a high note. We managed that. Then we said, okay, fine. We needed that extra verve to finish the game. I can't falter the boys. Under the circumstances that we were in, we will accept a point and go home.
That's it from Botswana Tonight Sports segment, and thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of the evening and stay blessed.
Thank you so much, Titi. Until we meet again next time, have yourself a pleasant evening, sir.
Thank you. It was great working with you.
It's been a fantastic week working with you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was Titi Tato Khosimori giving us the latest in sports. Let's take a final look at stories leading the way this evening. The ruling Botswana Democratic Party committed to bringing development to the Okavango district. Use of technology proving to be effective in fighting corruption. And in sports, local players off to a good start in the Phoenix Assurance BOTSWANA Open Championship. That's all that we had for you in our news bulletin this evening. BTV News, Ikanyarona, hashtag BW Mindset Change. Up next is the weather update.
Good evening and welcome to today's weather forecast. I'm Pro Victoria Hosiami. Let's start off by looking at rainfall amounts recorded this morning at 8 a.m. We have 38 millimeters at Mabela Pudi Primary School, 30 millimeters at Maunatlala Councillor's Office, 20 at Soroe Police, 16 at Swanning Hill School in Soroe, and 11 millimeters at Mutlane Primary School and the Zao Wildlife Camp in the CKGR. 9 millimeters over Ray Cobbs Junior Secondary School, 5 millimeters at Tirelo Primary School in Dubete and Raditladi Primary School in Boka, and 1 millimeter at Haborone Med Village and Kasane Med Village, and a few drops at Pandamatenga Med Station. Looking at tonight's satellite images showing mostly cloudy conditions across much of the country, and we expect these to bring us rain into tonight and even into the morning. For tomorrow, we're expecting cloudy conditions countrywide with scattered thunder showers over the southern southeast Gauteng, Kwening, southern central and northeast. But elsewhere, we're expecting isolated thunder showers. In the morning, some mild warm temperatures over Hanti, Kalahadi, southern southeast Gauteng and Kwening, ranging between 18 to 19 degrees Celsius. And hot over Ngamiland, Chobe, central and northeast, ranging between 20 to 22 degrees Celsius. In the afternoon, mild temperatures over the southern southeast Gauteng and Kwening, ranging between 25 to 26 degrees Celsius. And warm temperatures over Kalahadi, Hanti, central and northeast, ranging between 28 to 32. But hot temperatures over Ngamiland and Chobe of around 33 degrees Celsius. For SADC cities, we're expecting some partly cloudy conditions over Cape Town with highs of 25. Fine skies over Appleton and Port Elizabeth, and isolated thunder showers over Johannesburg, Maseru and Manzini with highs of 17 over Johannesburg. Partly cloudy conditions over Harare with possibilities of rain, and fine skies over Beira. But for Lusaka and Antananarivo, we're expecting some isolated thunder showers with highs of 27 over Antananarivo. For Blantyre, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions with highs of 32 and isolated thunder showers over Dar es Salaam, Kinshasa and Luanda with highs of 29 degrees Celsius. That's the weather forecast. Have yourself a good night.
Climate change is one of the most pressing issues facing our world today.